So self-forgiveness can be a stumbling block for some people because it isn't in the Bible. And yet self-condemnation is definitely in the Bible. So we might think back to David and King David's, all of his sins with Bathsheba and sending Uriah off to be killed and pulling back the troops. And David has sinned and he's covering this up, and Nathan comes to him and confronts him, and David is immediately convicted of his sin. He knows what he has to do. He goes directly to God and says, I've sinned against God and man. And yet you turn to Psalm 51 and it says, Psalm 51, a psalm written by David after Nathan has confronted him. So this is sometime later. He's forgiven by God, and yet he says, create in me a clean heart, O God, renew a right spirit within me, purge me with hyssop. So somehow, even though God has made him right morally, he hasn't become totally right in other ways. And one of those ways is he did a lot of things that had consequences. So he has to deal with the consequences. The consequences are social, that he's hurt other people, and they're also personal, and he's damaged himself. So the first steps in forgiving yourself are go to God right away, number one. Number two, take care of those social impacts to the extent that you can. And third, deal with the psychology of the damage that you've done to yourself. And only after you've been responsible and done those things, really are you going to be able to work through some kind of substantial decision to forgive yourself and emotional forgiveness of yourself.